What is going on, my lovely ladies and gentlemen of the world? As you well know by now, if you are not new to this, timestamps in the description for each match herein. Starting it off with a fun one, running it back to Calamity Trigger back when these characters, or even actually Continuum Shift would probably be... CS2 was the heyday of Noel, right? And CS Extend was Ragna's like last big outing, right? In regard to, you know, their S tier qualities. So I know throughout Continuum Shift, Ragna was just very strong in general, but I think Extend was his bet. God fucking damn it. I know Extend was, I'm pretty sure Extend was the time when he was considered to actually be a top tier character. And has not really been considered to be since. But Noel is certainly looking like her normal F tier self up and now. That was a good sentence, Nate. Pat yourself on the back for that one. And move on. Back to the match. Noel's actually getting in that ass. Sure, deep down, Ragna likes it. What is this neutral? And it worked! I was just gonna say, like, what the fuck is this neutral that I'm watching? But Noel just won. No, what? There had to have been the possibility, like, there had to have been a way to combo into super off that. I know nothing about Noel, but I'm pretty sure that I'm right on that. And Noel actually has pretty decent minimum damage on her super. She always has. I really feel like I'm watching Continuum Shift Noel right now, because that was, you know, it's... People have kind of learned over the process of, oh, let him out of the corner, put him back in, doesn't techs into the low. Pulls out the big gun. Shoots him right in the dick. That's a little fucked up, Noel. Noo's gonna be mad that you ruined that. Is Noel actually... What is this match? How are you both level 33? How lenient is the ranking system of this game? That it... I mean, not to be too judgmental, but how lenient is the ranking system of this game that it allows people that play like this to get to the upper echelon of the rankings? I can't count on my level 30 plus rule anymore, man. It's been out for long enough that people that shouldn't be here are here anyway. Oh man, I don't know what that match was. Hopefully this will be better. I'm just not gonna talk. I can't talk. Every time I start to mention, like, oh, that looked good, something fucked up happens. Like this man trying to do a DP, one of the lowest ranged DPs in the fucking game. Okay, he just did dash TK. Rekkas. Okay, I'm with it now. I'm back in the match. But still, like, anybody with half a brain can see that Relius is way too far away for that DP to possibly work on him, and he tossed it out anyway. Like, just team fuck it right there. I guess that's everybody is on team fuck it if you're playing online. Good side switch. Did they up the proration? I guess it would be reduced. Wait, no, I don't. Because the lower it gets, the less damage you get. So yeah, did they raise the proration rating of that move? That used to be like, if you use this move at all, period, you got like 1500 max from any follow-up. Granted, he didn't start the combo with it either. That was mid-combo. So that could be it too. I don't understand proration. I do understand proration. I just don't actually know what the values are. Wait, how did Relius actually win that round? You shouldn't have. Is this just my world now? Like, have people just gone so far away from giving a shit about learning how to play correctly that they're just fully in online mode now. Every match I see from this point onward is gonna have purple throw galore. That's just the world I live in now. Because I'm seeing it a lot more in matches too. People are just going for gimmicky ass purple throws for no good reason except for just fuck it, it's online and there's a high chance that it'll work because of that. Oops. Which to me is never, it's just, it takes away, it completely removes any sense of satisfaction you get from victory. Oh, you could have confirmed that into full Valiant Charger and gotten so much damage. He could have confirmed that into Valiant Charger and gotten so much more damage. He's trying to burst bait and failing. Won the round anyway. But yeah, it's just, it's no fun to me. And I know obviously not everybody shares my philosophy. In fact, I'm pretty sure nobody shares my philosophy. I'm fairly certain everybody will win no matter what, they will take the win no matter what they had to do, regardless of whether or not they had to sell their soul to net play to get it. They are happy to, as long as they get that W. Versus like, yeah, I could have done this or that, but that's basically an online only setup and something that's only strong thanks to online. And I don't give a shit about winning like that. It means nothing to me. And so I don't use a lot of those things, but I've been seeing like all of them are just becoming so much more and more prevalent as this game goes along. This guy needs to stop trying to guess with Growler. That's the worst thing you can do, is try to guess. Because ultimately, all the other person then has to do is just wait until you throw it out and then take the second and a half with punish time that they potentially have. I keep trying to press X to skip the outro of the round, but it just pauses the match instead. Trying to hurry it along, and I'm doing the exact opposite. I don't think that would work that late in the combo. You may have just done it late, but I'm fairly certain that wouldn't. That air dash is too late. In, you know, all the hit stun decay. See, like just bait it out constantly. Unfortunately, she got a shit punish for it, because that's a guaranteed counter hit. Granted, from the distance, the last one, the distance right there would have been very difficult to actually punish with, because there is a very, 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 at least as far as I'm aware, maybe I'm wrong, but there's a very tiny window at the end of Growler where he's still in recovery and the projectile absorption effect wears off. So you could potentially punish, but it's not easy to time. I feel like I've done it once or twice with Spark Bolt, but the majority of the time I just wind up throwing Spark Bolt straight into it and giving them exactly what they wanted, even though I baited it out successfully. That's just, and I'm sure it's happened to many other people as well. But I'm fairly sure there's a tiny little window at the end where they become projectile vulnerable that Nu could have used to punish those a lot harder than she did. Because I think her fatal counter is... I'm not going to talk about Nu like I know her. Ooh. Has not been a single hit confirmed yet. Hazama's almost dead, and there hasn't been a single okay. We finally got a real combo. What? Oh, okay, I was gonna say, that was taking off chunks of life. If he was able to continue that, a super may have actually wound up taking the round. But this, no, he doesn't have nearly enough time. Oh! That sucks. If that Litchi had confirmed one of the other hits, all it would have taken was one other actual real combo to have removed that much life from Hazama. That's a really good tool, and it doesn't even need counter hit to knock that far down to the ground. So yeah, that's a really good Because, I mean, it just covers so much space on Hazama. Or, like, in the air where Hazama usually wants to go to try to approach. That's really strong. Unfortunately, it seems like this Litchi has 0 actual defense. I think that's safe to say. This Hazama doesn't have great defense either, because you see he's constantly standing up and then re-crouching in the middle of combos. And if this Litchi is any good, he will have taken notice of that and started frame trapping into lows. Because that's definitely a habit you notice. And that's definitely something that I've gotten really, really accustomed. That was tricky as hell, actually. You know what? Never mind. He didn't have enough meter for... Like, I was thinking command grab, but he didn't have enough meter for it. Doesn't matter. Won anyway. Yeah, that Litchi needs a lot of work on their defense. But, like, when you play Azrael, you notice that people don't really react to 5D. They just react to certain moves that are commonly canceled into 5D. And so if you just stagger that a little bit and then you go into a 3C or a 2D or whatever, you're just catching people for days. Because just habitually they keep standing up in the middle of block strings when they see certain moves that they believe is going to be followed by a 5D. Hey look, they have the same hair color. They decided to use the same stylist. Oh my god. 9 seconds into the round, this Amane is already almost at level 3. And, they're at level 3. Hasn't even been 20 seconds yet. If this were Central Fiction 2.0, this combo would probably kill this mine. That combo probably would have killed that mine. Think about that for a second. That's what they did for Amane. That's what we're looking forward to in 2.0. I really hope people don't start picking up this character. I think he's gonna be a terror. We'll see. It depends on how hard the C button nerf actually hit him for damage. Because he has very respectable damage right now, and some of his confirms give him absolutely absurd damage. Generally involving that move right there. And now they're at level 3, just like that. Watching this fills me with all sorts of negative feelings that I don't really necessarily have the proper words for. It's just... yeah. Yeah. This character is going to be a very big problem. Holy shit. That did a lot of damage. This character is going to become a very big problem, and the only real saving grace we're going to have is that his spacing is very awkward and unique. And many people will probably give up if they try to play him. But, yeah, that character's going to become a problem. With that chip damage mechanic and no other character in the game sharing anything like it, it's going to be problematic. And I honestly don't think Arc System Works knew what they were doing when they upped the ante for how much chip damage he does. I don't think the barrier system is good enough to handle it. It also potentially depends on how much meter Ouya is going to catch. If you are in the air and you've used your movement options, you are getting caught by that, pure and simple. How much meter you get, because obviously they up the amount of meter you get from instant blocking. So because of how many hits drills churn out, will you be able to get a lot more alpha counters from blocking? But obviously, I mean, that doesn't really matter at the end of the day because they've already gotten your barrier and they've taken 50 meter from you. That is so rewarding versus, you know, just losing a tiny bit of momentum. The Amane wins in that scenario no matter what. If you block, Amane obviously wins by a huge amount. If you use anything to try to escape, you have them scared, you have them worried, and you're potentially taking their resources. It's a win no matter what. So that, number one, that match went by mad quick, because I didn't even finish talking about Amane. Number two, that character, like, he's gonna be a problem. This is all the best thing I can say. god, he's just giving her so many stocks for free. He's dead if he gets clipped one more time. And this is Izayoi, so why would he not get... Okay, what was I gonna say? This is Izayoi, so why wouldn't he get clipped one more time? But this Izayoi could not know how to actually block. Good anti-air right there, though. Shouldn't have used that meter. Definitely shouldn't have backdashed. I don't know if that was a potential mistake, but that's one of the worst things you can do. Because that's safe. For some reason, they decided that that move should be safe. And in fact, I believe she can even make it plus if she's in powered up mode, because she can teleport, cancel it. So that's a good, fun mechanic. Speaking of good and fun mechanics. Oh shit. I just love how the only example of that used to exist in the game was Bang's Furin Kazan. Because Bang players use that a lot. You got an extended period of time where you freeze the screen and you get to see exactly what your opponent is doing, and you can build a game plan to deal with that. And there was a little bit of invincibility to it, but there was a huge risk inherent, right? Bang used to not be able to block during Furin Kazan. You could barrier block, but he could not normally block. So, like I said, there was a risk to trying to use that for the freeze frame, because it could wind up biting you in the ass. That does not exist for overdrive. There are really no negatives to just popping overdrive and taking a moment to chill. And then Izayoi also has that now in her own install super as well. Except there's no downside to using that for her. Other than, I mean, you lose 50 meter, but you're pretty much forcing your opponent to be like, all right, hang on, I gotta take a minute. Can we just have a water break for a second? I don't want to be here anymore. There's a significant intimidation factor to Izayoi popping that. It's just funny to see the balance shift as time goes on, where something that was once seen as like powerful but with countermeasures has become, for other characters, incredibly powerful with no countermeasures whatsoever. Hopefully me scratching my water bottle right now is not getting picked up by the microphone. There was like a little, I don't know, there was something kind of stuck to the outside of it, and I wanted to get rid of it. And meanwhile, Platinum got fucked up. I hope the Platinum player at least threw out a reversal once. Makoto is very susceptible to reversals because she has to be so close to you. Alternatively, I bet Makoto could very easily, because she does not have a lot of recovery on her moves, would potentially be able to very easily option select Platinums, because her reversal is very, very slow to come out. Like Azrael players, for instance, if you've really trained yourself in the matchup, you can definitely react to the start, to noticing that, oh, Platinum just DP'd right here. Reaction Growler, the actual reversal thing that comes out is a projectile. You will absorb the Growler and then get a fatal counter off of it. Even though you activated it, even though you mashed into it, you still get to kill her for it. Again, if you've learned, that was a... I'm assuming that was a messed up Exceed Excel. Thought they had a little bit more time than they did. But yeah, that's a... Platinum does not have the best reversal in the game. But actually, she may very well have the worst. Who would be worse? I don't know. There's too many characters in the cast. But I would not... That would definitely be... Like, if I had to look through the list, Platinums would definitely start out at the bottom, and I'd work my way from there. Boy, isn't his magnetism a good mechanic? Look how well its intended purpose worked out to make sure that opponents don't have an easy way to run away from Tager. Oh, shit. This is how you should play this matchup, by the by. Like, once... See, he fucked up by going into the air. He completely fucked up by going into the air. But, like, I am absolutely convinced. I'm not 100% sure on this, but I'm absolutely convinced that the forward momentum that magnetism brings people in negates any of the backward movement that they've used in regard to negative penalty. So, like, you see this person has just been mashing on backdash when they've been magnetized, right? And there's no fear whatsoever in this man's heart for doing that. And I think that's why. Like, if magnetism had no effect whatsoever on negative penalty, this dude, I feel, would have gotten at least negative warning by now, if not actual legitimate negative penalty. But this is how the majority of Japanese players play this matchup, and it really showcases how weak Tager actually is now because of the nerf to Gadget Finger, where it puts them so far away, and backdash is basically the almost 100% guaranteed escape to anything Tager can do to you. It is not 100%. He can Gadget Finger whip, but that brings its own host of problems with it. But this Ragna definitely knows what he's doing and is most certainly playing like solely to win. He doesn't give a fuck if he's having fun. He doesn't give a fuck. I mean, obviously you shouldn't give a fuck if your opponent's having fun. They need to make their own fun, right? Through methods like this. Thanks to the nerve, Ragna makes... Okay, never mind. Ragna has no health. I forgot. And he just gets hit by Sledge on Wake Up? What are you doing?
Rebel 3, action!
I actually wish I had a rewind feature. Because now that I see that, I want to see... Because I'm fairly certain you don't actually get the Spark Bolt charge if you cancel that. Yeah, that was not wise. He was definitely not doing anything unsafe. Nothing that would have been able... He would have been able to do anything to. He should have 2C'd there. He definitely should. I mean, well... Honestly, he should have just blocked. Like... That was kind of a lose-lose situation for the Tager, right? Oh my god, and you fucked it up so hard, and now he doesn't have Spark Bolt, and he just keeps... He's been punished so many times for that 2D in neutral. And, I mean, 2D is not something you should really use in general, because anybody that is trained in that matchup, and I've noticed it numerous times myself, and it's definitely something I need to stop using, you can react to the startup of 2D by just neutral jumping. And 2D has a really pathetic vertical hitbox, so if you just neutral jump it, Tager will drag you back, the magnetism will drag you back down to the ground, but it won't hit you. It will just put you right in front of Tager in prime positioning to just whip punish him for that 2D. And I believe you get a crouching confirm off of it every single time. So 2D, like, Tager has so many moves that are so deceptive if you're a Tager player, because it's like, oh hey, I have this huge gap to clear, but I have Sledge, I have 2D, I potentially have 5D, I have all these options if somebody's magnetized to bring them in. This will totally work out. And then you notice, like, everything has severe vulnerabilities that doesn't just allow them to be avoided, but allows them to be cleanly beaten. And I feel like I'm ragging on Tager far more. Like, a lot of people are gonna kind of think, like, well, why, like, Tager's not that bad. Dude, he's not. He absolutely isn't. The problem is that, like I said, he just has a lot of tools that seem like they should be good, but they are deceptively bad. But they're also the tools that a lot of Tager players, including myself, use far more often than we should. And we should be getting blown up for them far more often than we do. And 2D's definitely. 2D and Sledge in general are like the two biggest examples I can think of in that regard. Ouch. I think this, I recognize this name too, the Azrael, as being a Tager player. Might have been why I downloaded it.
The wheel of fate is turning. One, action.
I kind of wonder if a change would be too strong. Because obviously the whole backdashing thing works out so well against magnetism because everybody's backdash has a period of invulnerability, right? So when you're looking at it from that angle, that was a corner to corner confirm that should have worked, but they dropped it. And just wanted to highlight that real quick before I went back to talking about Tager. That's one of the biggest problems with with Tager dealing with backdashing is that the magnetism doesn't function because of the invulnerability period during backdashes. So it just doesn't pull them in as much as the move should pull in. And I wonder if that might be considered too strong if you made the magnetism ignore invulnerability. Just the magnetism part. Like, you would still cause moves to potentially whiff. But if magnetism still drew them in the same amount regardless. That's the only answer I can think of for dealing with the backdash problem. Because negative penalty doesn't fucking matter. If you can just spend your entire day on the other side of the screen, why would negative penalty matter when you can just sit there and wait until your barrier regens and you're out of negative penalty? That's no big deal. So even if you did fix that aspect of magnetism resetting that counter, it doesn't solve any problems. It just creates more incentive to sit at the other side of the screen, which is not what you should be doing. Like, if you're a fighting game developer, the last thing you should be doing is trying to optimize somebody sitting at full screen and never doing anything. Alright, anyway, let's actually discuss this match, because I know so much about both of these characters. All that I know is that I have a seething hatred for Izanami and old wounds that have yet to close, inflicted by Rachel. And neither one of them are my favorite beings in the universe. All of the most recent wound, thanks to George. Epiphobia of frogs, man. What's that called? That has to have an actual name. And looking that up is more interesting to me at the moment than this actual matchup. Fear of God. Okay, that's the #1 fear of. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. I don't know how to actually pronounce it. I assume it's Ranidophobia, because Ranidae is the most widespread family, the name for the biggest family of frogs. Makes perfect sense from a scientific point of view. Now that we've looked that up, I will absolutely not remember it.
The wheel of fate is turning. Rebel 1, action.
They have the same color palette, more or less. It's just that Maya has decided to show off more skin. Be honest with me, though. Curious, got a philosophical question for you. If you were a dude, you found yourself magically, you found your mind, your thoughts, your normal, just your normal everyday being, transported into the body of a young, supple, very large-breasted individual, would your first thought be, let me find the sluttiest clothes I can and throw them bitches on? Honestly, as a dude, I don't even know how you would actually secure what the hell Maya's wearing in place. So that's my question of the day. If you suddenly found yourself to be a lady, as a dude, would you suddenly become the sluttiest lady in town? Alternatively, if you're a lady that became a dude, would you start rocking a Speedo all day long to show off your bulge? Let people know what you're packing? Why did that hit? Counter was out and active. That's kind of bullshit. Oh! She dead. She not dead. This is a terrible fucking combo. He had active flow. She dead. Fuck this game. Wait, that was the match? Why did I think the Maya had won the first round? I was too busy miring the girl. I guess. I don't fucking know. How many replays do I got left? Way more than I thought. Holy shit. Look at that huge time period. In between. That's almost a month. Because I know I've had these for so damn long. Oh god. Alright. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day.